Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. And today we have another three whiskies on my cask. I don't think they're quite whiskies, but whiskey liqueurs. So whiskey mixed with sugar mixed with something else. And they're called Yukon Jack. And I always thought Yukon Jack comes from Yukon, the territory in Canada. It's in the northwest of Canada, really far up north, and in the winter it's very cold and very rough and very wild. So the guys out in Yukon, there's one here on the bottle, and that is what symbolizes the Yukon Jack, a guy with a huge coat and a bear behind him, and he's definitely a man of the wilderness. And yeah, and it is said that Yukon Jack was invented by outside man Jacks sitting at the campfire and warming themselves because their campfire was not warm enough. Yeah, that's the story, and probably they just wanted something to drink and wanted to invent something on their own to drink. What is really a bit strange is on the back of the bottle. Yes, first of all, they belong to Sazerac, a big company in the United States, and bottled by the Yukon Jack Trading Company, Louisville, Kentucky. So this is not bottled in Canada. This is bottled in the United States of America. And yeah, so what laws do they have to follow? I think they now do have to follow the laws of the land of United States, because they're bottled in the United States and they want to write on the label what's legal in the United States. And here on the bottom it says whiskey with natural cinnamon flavor. So it has to be whiskey, and that means before that the whiskey that goes in doesn't have to have any natural, or it doesn't have to have any artificial flavors in them compared to what is legal in Canada. But actually they put cinnamon flavor in afterwards and tell you that, so they can pretty much put in anything they want. And yeah, it's one of these cinnamon flavored liqueurs that used to pop up over the last years all around the markets. What is really interesting about this one is when you compare it to other whiskey liqueurs with cinnamon in them, then this is 100 proof. It says here on the 100, I can't show you quite well here, 100 proof. That means that is 50% ABV overall, and 50% ABV with a whiskey that is still mixed with flavors. That is a lot. So this is probably the strongest in terms of alcohol, the strongest cinnamon whiskey liqueur, at least that I know. But I've had the big ones I've had. There might be some smaller craft ones that are heavier and heftier. And a lot of cinnamon. But it's not just cinnamon. There is a bit of another sharp note, I have to say. It's the whiskey comes through, but this time in a very harsh way. So it's 50% ABV with a lot of cinnamon spiciness. That's a harsh one. You can already smell it. It's not that bad in the nose, but I can smell that this will be a hefty one. Oh, spicy. This is hefty, spicy. This is not in terms of alcohol. So all the talk about it has a 50% that will be heavier and stronger. Probably you will feel it after a few glasses, but when you swallow it, you don't feel it at all, because it's just such a hefty cinnamon burn in there. It's really strong cinnamon. So compared to the others, I would say it has a good amount of more kick to it. Now it smells like even more like cinnamon. Oh, that is coming up for Christmas time. So, yeah, the Yukon Jack, I thought it's just a cheap knockoff. Like they went with the flow. Now they produced something, I would say, at least outstanding and very intense. Still really, really sweet. And they can't tell me they don't put in any sugar afterwards either, because it's just really, really sweet. And also the first astonishment when I had it in my mouth was the creaminess. Maybe you can see it in the glass. It's much more strong, viscous than normal whiskey. You do realize there's mixed in a lot of sugar that just makes it a little creamier and a little tighter. So let's go on with the next one. So what's the next one? Oh, we're going with honey. So yeah, maybe my choice of direction was not the best, because the cinnamon is probably the strongest. Should have started with the honey. And you can already see, or I can already see, it's as creamy as the cinnamon. What is also really interesting that you can't see anymore, if you skip back the video, you can see it that the fillings in the bottles were much different, and that comes up with the different technique of filling. They probably fill a liter each exactly, and the variances in the bottles give you the variances in filling level, and that is not very common because there are much customer complaints if you do that. And usually they fill up to a certain level, and all the customers see at a certain level they have all the same volume in there, but it actually isn't true. It varies a lot because of the tolerances of the bottle. Ooh, this is much more fresh than I expected. So this has a lot of herbs in it. Fresh herbs, mint, not honey at all. Didn't have any honey on my toast this morning, but I think last weekend I had a toast with honey, and it doesn't smell anything like that, or any honey that I know. So this smell, I would have never guessed honey liqueur if I would have that in a blind tasting. Oops. Oh. This is really strange. You do have a bit of a honey feeling. That's my camera. A bit of a honey feeling in there, but it's very, very strange. It also have 100 proof with 50% ABV, and it's really strange. I don't know what kind of honey they have up in Yukon there. So it's really, really strange. So yeah, it is sweet. About as sweet as the other one. So it's not really a honey sweetness from my feel, from my taste. I've had other honey liqueurs, and it's definitely something interesting, but I can't really quite put my finger on it. And I'm a bit distracted because I really expected a honey liqueur, and I got something that tasted a lot different. Now for the last one. The last one is now 50% 100 proof Yukon Jack Apple, only the strongest wife. So it's all the same bottle. Yeah, they do give you a bit of a different recipe how you should enjoy it on the back. They always go, yeah, you can do it straight, like I do now, or neat. And with a cube of okay, this is definitely apple. Oh. And They also give you a little bit of a recipe back in the back. Mix 11 to 4 ounces Yukon Jack apple with a splash of cranberry juice and serve a chilled shot of ice. It's a jacked apple, and then the other one is a honey lemonade and a fire and cola. Yeah, definitely. Mm, I just took the wrong glass. This is the fresh the fresh honey again. This is the apple. I just mixed up the glasses. Yeah, this is, but it's a very green apple, a very fresh, like I think Granny Smith is one of these apple types, and they're very, very. It smells a little bit artificial as well, but very, very strong green apple taste. You can also feel the 50%. It comes on strong with this apple. It really feels that doesn't. It hasn't seen any apples at all in this bottle. It's just a artificial apple flavor because it's just so very specific, intense apple flavor on the point that it feels like these candy apple. What is it? These sour apple treats, sweets that you can get when you're very young at a kiosk at a beach or something. It isn't sour at all, as there's probably no acidity in there as well at all. But from the flavor, you just get a very, very sour association. It's still very, very sweet. With this one, you can actually feel the alcohol a bit more that it's a 50% one, because it's very, very. It's not as strong as the others. Let's say it that way. It's a bit milder than the others. The actual flavor of the whiskey can be felt a little bit. The other ones are just so intense with what they have added that you don't feel not much of the whiskey. But they are fun. I wouldn't recommend them to any serious whiskey connoisseur. No, it's not worth it. If you want to have it for a party, yeah, they're good. They're cool. They're a cool alternative to the ones that are currently very, very mainstream, as they have just more kick to it. They're just stronger than the others. They've just added much more stuff into it. Yeah, so yeah, that was it with my triple tasting of Yukon Jack Fire, Honey, and Apple. That was it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.